edition of the Sports Report. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. It's Barnes and it's Michael.
Hello, Brian.
Buddy?
How are you?
Dude, feeling pretty good. Christmas around the corner.
I know.
I mean, weather could be a little better, but at least it's not snowing, I guess, but it's a little cold in the morning. I'm sure you at the gym must be free. You must have to wear 2 winter coats to go into the gym.
I wear leggings with my sweatpants.
And you're not even shivering.
That usually does it for me.
Yeah.
With a nice jacket, a hoodie.
And then half hour in the sauna, you don't even need a coat on the way out.
You don't.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't. But obviously I put it on, but I'm hot.
You guys ever have to deal with, I was talking pet peeve was like the heavy breathing, like for the people in the sauna.
No one's there that early, really.
But when there are people, have you ever had the people with like the bands or whatever, and they're do it like right in front of you with the breathing? I can't handle it.
That's LA Fitness right there. The Edge, they banned the bands.
Dude, I mean, if the Edge could just get those basketball courts, I would be right there.
Matt says beeline it right to the front doors
from the car. Packing, as we would say, Matt.
Yes.
But a lot to talk about here. Let's go to the world of the National Football League.
Juju Smith-Schuster is blown up. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins.
Do not stand up with that man and let him just throw you out of the club.
On its way. It bounces off the crossbar, and it's good. Oh my goodness.
All right. So we had the Monday Night Football doubleheader yesterday. And we had two games, that were very, low scoring, and one pretty competitive, the other not so much. First one though on the slate, with the 5:00 kickoff, we saw the Raiders and the Browns. And at the end of the day, the Raiders squeak out a victory here, 16-14. So playing 1980s football here with defense, field goals, and you get Daniel Carlson, the game winner from 48 yards out as time expired. I thought this was pretty impressive win for the Raiders, considering that, you held the Browns to 14 points without having any sacks or turnovers. You don't usually see that too much. Did just enough on offense, and Carr leading them down the field after the Browns took that 1-point lead. He had 236 through the air, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and you could tell the Raiders players going into this game had a little chip on their shoulder. They thought it wasn't fair that the NFL moved this game from Saturday because, just to give the Browns more time to get their players healthy, and they felt, they were ready now. They've had to deal with COVID all through the year. But I mean, it's hard to really argue either way because I guess they were in danger of not having a complete roster. I was impressed, though. The Browns were very close to winning this game with their third-string quarterback, former San Francisco 49er Nick Mullins. He only had 147 through the air, 1 touchdown, didn't make the big mistake, obviously, and just looked comfortable in the pocket. So I think that's as good as you're going to get, from a third-string quarterback perspective. Nick Chubb, 91 yards on the ground, had a touchdown, and they did have a late Greedy Williams interception that got them back in this game, because they were down 10-0 at half and, struggling to score. But at the end of the day, just not enough for the Browns. And it's just crazy how competitive their division is. If they won this game, they would have been in first place, but they lose it and they're in last in the division. You don't really see swings like this too much. And it'll just be interesting to see, does this propel the Raiders to go on some type of run here to make the playoffs? What a story that would be after, the whole Gruden scenario and Henry Ruggs and Damon Arnett and just the laundry list of issues that the Raiders have had this year. So you got 3 games left on the schedule and definitely an opportunity to secure one of those 3 AFC wildcard spots. I think the Browns, may be in trouble here, especially because even if Baker, clears the protocol, we know his shoulder's not right. And just what a disappointing season it is for the Browns after winning that big playoff game against the Steelers last year. Expected to take the next step forward. You had the whole thing with Odell, and of course, all these positive tests that have depleted the roster, injuries. So, a lot to be concerned about there. Second game we saw the Minnesota Vikings defeat the Bears 17-9. So the Vikings win their last 2 games now to get to 7-7. Right in the playoff conversation. The Bears fall to 4-10, and we know it's just a matter of time before Matt Nagy gets the hook here. That's been talked about for weeks, and even I think it was Thanksgiving they were saying, it's a formality that they said that they are going to fire him. They've already started looking for a coach, so obviously that's got to be tough to deal with. But in this game really wasn't even close as the final score would indicate. It was 17-3, and the Bears on the final play of the game did get in the end zone. But of course, at that point, the Vikings knew they were going to win, so playing very soft coverage. And we've just seen this all season with the Bears. And while Fields, he definitely has some potential, threw for 285 through the air, a touchdown, and 35 yards on the ground. But you could just tell whenever he runs the ball, which he didn't that much. I think he might have had 3 or 4 carries, but he just has that burst, the ability to get to the second level, not to mention the arm strength, but he just needs more help around them if they're going to score, because their defense is pretty good. You look at it, Kirk Cousins only had 87 yards passing, and he finally gets, for the first time in his career, the second game of a back-to-back with these prime times. So that was big. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But I just can't remember the last time I saw a quarterback win a game throwing for 87 yards. You really don't see that. So talk about turning back the clock. He did hook up with Justin Jefferson for a touchdown, and Dalvin Cook, was grinding out tough yards throughout this game. 89 yards on the ground, only averaging a little over 3 yards per carry. So the Vikings, and there was a lot of talk before the game. They even asked, I think it was Harrison Smith, I want to say, on the Vikings, Coach Mike Zimmer, he's been there for 7 years, and, some up and down seasons, 7-9 last year, that if they were coaching for his job, and he just said everybody's, coaching for their job when it comes to the NFL, game in and game out, which is really hard to argue with. But like we've talked about before, it could be time to go in a different direction with the quarterback, especially, if this season doesn't go right, as well as possibly, move on from Dalvin Cook if you get some value there, but might be tough with the contract. So a lot of things to really be determined here. But one thing that they know for at least today is that they're still in the NFC, are not, and don't have their first round pick this year because of the trade for Justin Fields. So that's something that they're going to have to deal with. So just be interesting to see what happens to these teams moving forward. And it's usually we would say, okay, we're off till Thursday, but because of the postponement of a couple games, we have a Tuesday night football doubleheader. Do you think they almost should do this regularly, Michael? Another night of football.
I know you want it.
You would be tight. You think it's oversaturated?
Yeah.
And you kind of like the 1 o'clock rush of 9 games at a time.
Yeah. Anthony Materiello.
Something tells me that Barnes is the heavy breather in the sauna. Any rhyme reason behind this? No.
That guy, dude.
Just from the one-on-one game, the first one-on-one game, we had the mics on.
The second one too.
Yeah. No, but it's over-exaggerated, like a windmill. What do you think he's saying there, Michael?
I think maybe he's saying you breathe like a windmill.
The one thing I will say is because I do this on the bench. I don't know if you guys, I feel like you're probably better at this. I will do a set of 10, not breathe the whole time, not even purposely.
What do you mean a set of 10? What,
a bench press? Yeah. I don't even mean to do it. It's I'm just so concentrated on getting it up. I don't know. It's just
Matthew said exactly, Michael. So I was right. Yeah, that's how you breathe.
All right.
I don't hear it when you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, Tony, when we're just chilling here, you notice it or no?
No.
Okay, so it's just basketball.
Yeah.
But all I have to say is, I mean, I am ready for some basketball. I'm ready to get. We gotta make it happen. I don't care if we have to play outside in the winter. We're playing once a week, all of us. I want 2-on-2. Let's start a series too. We can have multiple series going on at the same time. Do you attest to this, Michael?
Yeah, we could do it.
What do you think the fairest matchup would be for
Dude.
2-on-2 between the four of us?
Oh, man. I don't want to be that guy, but it's like we can rotate so everyone can win. Not to be a dick.
Mike is on.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I really have that much confidence in it. I'm a twos master.
Yeah. No,
Plays.
I've always loved twos.
I think twos should be a league.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Because I just love how it's like you're heavily involved. But like you saw with me and Tony playing 1-on-1, you don't get completely worn out because you don't have to do everything every play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're heavily involved.
Matt said him and me. That'd just be.
I mean,
We
I
can
know
do it.
I know me and Tony are up for the challenge. Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it. That's the first
All
first
right.
matchup.
All right.
What do you guys think? $1,000 each on the line?
I would do it. That's one thing I'll bet on. He's laughing.
Let's start with maybe a game, bowling, dinner.
We'll do dinner.
We'll
do dinner.
Yeah. But I'm pumped, honestly. I want to play right now.
I know. I see it.
Yeah. I know Tony wants to too. So we might have to talk to the folks over at Wakeman.
Yes.
Get us over there for sure. Dinner, he says. We said that yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We did.
Okay. All right. So let's see what happens. But
We'll figure out the name, Matt. Still.
Yeah. Back to the games here. So for both actually at 7:00. The first one we're going to take a look at got the 6-7 Washington football team at the 6-7 Philadelphia Eagles, who come in 6.5 home favorites, and the total set at 42. So not exactly expecting this to be a shootout. And like I said, 7:00 on Fox. And you look at the quarterbacks. Hurts is banged up, but expected to give it a go. And then for Washington, they're down their top two quarterbacks, Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen. And, obviously Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt earlier in the season. So technically you could say their fourth quarterback. And we got Garrett Gilbert, the practice team quarterback, expected to get the start here. But this is a matchup where I just really don't know what to make of this, because I just think Washington and Philadelphia have been very inconsistent all season. And then obviously going with that third, fourth string quarterback, that really puts them at a disadvantage. But I just feel like Philadelphia has played well down the stretch, so I would favor them here. But I just think, I don't know if they could cover 6.5. I could see this really being a field goal game. And despite this total being low at 42, I think it could even go under that. And it's just ironic because this day and age, we've seen all these high scoring games, no defense. And then we saw what happened last night. And I think in this game, it might mirror the Chicago game or the Browns game for that matter. So I'm going to say here, though, when the push comes to shove, I do think, with Hurts being banged up, I think that kind of hurts the Eagles. I think Washington has a better defense. So give me Washington 19-17 and a late field goal to win it. And pretty much eliminate the Eagles, from playoff conversation here. What do you think, Michael?
I'll take Washington.
You like the underdog story?
Yeah.
Garrett Gilbert, the
no
former
name
Cowboy. So yeah, hopefully we get some more excitement offensively than we're anticipating, but could see a lot of running the ball, which can be effective, depending on the situation, of course. Second game here. We have the 5-8 Seattle Seahawks at the 9-4 Los Angeles Rams. Rams come in 7-point favorites here. Total set at 45.5. It's tough to really say here because the Rams got off to such a hot start, then really struggled. I believe I think they lost to the Bears actually on Monday Night Football a few weeks back. And just really haven't seen that pop on offense. But I just feel like Seattle, I feel like Russell Wilson, he's trying, of course, but his mind's other places. He's thinking about possibly, coming to the Jets or going to the Saints.
It'll be New York Giants.
Would you welcome him on the Jets, though?
No.
You want Zach. You want Zach to be big.
I just don't need a Mello for the Jets situation.
But what do you mean by that? When it
older, end of prime.
Yeah.
Done.
Really? You think
not for the Jets? The Jets are too young.
But do you think he can find success if he goes to a team that has the pieces around him?
Yes.
I think he's kind of Pete Carroll. He's had the same coach for a while. So I think the Rams, like I said, they have been struggling, but they did get all their guys back, from the COVID list. So Odell, in the lineup, of course. I have to check on tight end Tyler Higbee. I'm not sure about that, but Cooper Kupp, he just got named to the Pro Bowl. I believe he leads the NFL in receiving. So I just think the Rams just have the better team, and against a team like Seattle, especially the fact that they're at home here. I like the Rams here, and I actually think the Seahawks, after winning last week, are going to go back to their struggling ways. So give me the Rams 31-14. And that actually would be a Tony special, going under by 0.5 point on the total. Rams covering easily. Michael, I know you're with me because you want that Seattle draft pick to be as high as possible.
I'll do you one better. 41-7. Seattle scores first. And that's
41 consecutive.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And you see Russell Wilson crying on the sideline.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we'll see if we get a competitive game here. Obviously,
Takes off his helmet and he has a Giants do-rag on, and then all the controversy.
This really could be like the
This is the last time you'll see him in LA as a Seahawk.
Yeah. It's time for a change. It just is time for shame. And do you feel like, of recent memory, with a talented quarterback, this is one of the biggest wasted opportunities in quite some time for a quarterback of his caliber? Only
he should have left earlier.
It's just. In that play call, I mean, it's just so hard to get over that.
I know.
Of course, to give Brady another ring, like he didn't have enough already, that has to be one of the biggest blunders of all time. But let's see what happens tonight. And obviously, go Rams here. Get that draft pick higher for the New York Jets. But for now, let's switch to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls LeBron James at the buzzer.
All right, so we had a couple interesting games in the NBA last night, but actually,
Do you know what today is? Yeah.
Actually, what is today?
130 years to the day Naismith YMCA basketball invented.
Game. Wow.
Invented
30 years ago.
Today.
Imagine what that first game looked like.
It looked like the one-on-one we just saw.
I don't even think it looked that good.
No.
But before we get into the games, Michael, I'm just curious. I've heard some things, but I just wanted to start with you. I think I actually heard this yesterday on the radio. What have you heard about possible dysfunction in the Knicks locker room? Have you heard anything about this or no?
No, tell me more.
So I was listening to The Fan last night, and they were saying there's a lot of animosity between some of the players. They feel like, I think the two that they named actually big time, of course, RJ and Randall not going 100% at practice, and that's dividing the locker room, as well as players kind of turning against Thibs. Not all of them, but it's like split 50-50, and that's what's leading to this poor performance on the court, as well as the fact that Thibs has completely botched the Kemba situation, that he has not talked to him until I think this morning about the situation of that he was going to even bench him, didn't even tell him. And didn't commit to putting him back in the lineup after that strong game. I mean, do you think that there probably is some truth to that?
Yeah, I mean, if it's out there, probably. But it sucks because I wish we had Anthony, Mark. Yeah. Mark Anthony is our coach.
You mean Mark Jackson?
Mark Jackson, I'm sorry. Mark Anthony would be a good halftime show. Mark Jackson, though.
I said it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I really did.
When they were looking for a coach, I was like, just get him.
Because and I don't think too the problems that he had in Golden State. I don't
We're
think
just religious.
But I'm saying I don't think they were with any players.
It was with the ownership, and they didn't want him to be doing prayers before games.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that
with the team.
I thought it was just the fact that he wanted more control over the front office.
No,
I didn't realize
it was religious.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
and I feel like he does such a good job
of developing.
Oh yeah, and I was just gonna say because he calls a lot of these Warriors games. He has to be devastated inside. He will never admit it.
I know. I think about it every time.
Crush him.
That's why he deserves another chance. And if he got one with the Knicks where he played, wasn't he Rookie of the Year with them? I'm pretty sure he was. Mark Jackson was Rookie of the Year. I'm pretty sure with them. And yeah, that'd be sick. And he would do what he did with Golden State again.
but it's just crazy to think how stuff changes history. It's like, because everyone's like, oh, well, Kerr's one of the greatest coaches in modern history. So it's like, does that mean that Mark Jackson would be, but now he's nothing? Like, I don't know. That's just tough pill to swallow. Not that, being a lead announcer, on the NBA broadcast isn't a good job, but it's just like you believed in these guys and you said Curry and Thompson were the best shooting backcourt in NBA history way before anybody thought that.
I know.
Well ahead of this. So
I know.
Just kind of interesting.
He even gave Draymond his chance, you would say. Gave him a lot of early minutes, saw what he was.
Pick,
saw what he was. Yeah, and knew that he would be a good all-around player like how he is. Look, Sean Marion, he grew up, seeing Sean Marion. He probably saw that in Draymond.
Yeah.
Same kind of player.
So I mean, do you think though, for sure though, let's say it really like they go on like a 5-6 game losing streak, any way that they showed Thibs the door or no?
Nah.
Yeah. And in your mind, would you be pretty confident that more players than
dude, this is good. I'm glad Randall's fucking slacking, dude. This is perfect. Get him the fuck out of here.
It's so funny your timeline with Randall. Remember last year? Want to trade him? Corner
didn't want
to trade him.
Yeah, I know.
But
I guess it's like the girlfriend you don't really like. You thought you did, and it's like, what am I doing in this relationship?
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. But last night, we saw a close game here. 76ers 108, Celtics 103. So the Sixers win this game, the battle of the 500 teams. And Joel, 41-10. He's been coming up big all season. And our guy, Seth Curry, had 26 points. And you look at it for the Celtics, it was the Tatum and Brown show, but more so Brown, he had 30. Tatum at 17 and 9, and they even controlled the game, leading by 5 going into the fourth quarter, but could just not finish. And I just feel like it's such a shame because I think this 76ers team, really both of these teams, but specifically, because they win this game, but we've seen them struggle all season. Like any type of return for Simmons, like they could be one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference because Embiid is that good.
Yeah.
You let's say they double team in the paint. You got Curry wide open for 3.
Tobias.
You got Tobias. And then what if you had someone who could
Green.
play like Fox?
I know, dude.
Like, they would be the best team in the Eastern Conference.
His speed, too, with that team.
Yeah.
It's not like Joel can't do it or run up the court that fast. He's just no one's there to push the ball like that.
And do you think if Simmons never said one word publicly, but just privately demanded a trade, he would have already been traded? Because his value went down so much knowing that they have to get rid of him? Or
no, his play.
Just too low?
Dude, you saw what he did back-to-back to 3 straight playoffs, actually. Dude, I think you could add all of his points up and get like 45 points in his 3 years.
But what do you think, though? He gets to the right situation. Will he be like really good, or you think not as good as we expected him to be?
It's tough with him because, he's unique.
Right.
But I think he could be like an AI. He needs that team that's perfect for him.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of stuff, but there's stuff he can't do.
And do you think any way he overcomes this like fear of shooting at all?
For his sake. Kobe even said it. Remember, he said when he was alive, he said if he doesn't get a jump shot, he's not going to make it.
Yeah, it's crazy because all the other aspects of his game are really good, and it's just like the fact too that I think he was like shooting threes like when he was in college a little bit, and even in the summer league. And then, I don't know, like did someone tell him not to do this? Like I don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
Sometimes people just get the yips.
And then. With Boston here, obviously, 1 game under 500 now. If they were to somehow get, another big name, do you think they would be pretty good? Or do you think, like, literally it's like they need to get rid of every single person other than Brown and Tatum?
And Smart.
And Pritchard.
And Pritchard, because you love him.
But no, he
is good. He's a good role player. And Smart has to stay. But, everyone else is disposable.
The bigs are the problem. Like,
freedom.
Can't eat,
freedom.
Had a big game last night, but it's just he's a backup. He can't be starting. Robert Williams is a backup. Like, you know what I mean?
They need a Joel. Imagine.
Oh my!
Him with Brown
guys.
And Tatum.
Yeah, that would be big.
I could see him going there if they lose. If Philly loses another postseason deep run.
Yeah.
Free agency or trade, just trade everybody.
Yeah.
I'd give him the whole team.
What about your guy? Maybe Mount Drummond, possible trade to the Celtics from the Sixers? No. We haven't talked about that in a while.
Dude, do you believe in him anymore? You just love his
I
game.
just think he can be utilized. I don't think he's a waste. I don't think he's a backup. He can start. It's just like he can't be the number 1, 2, or 3 scoring option. But
so you think he'd be great in Boston? That's like literally what you're saying. Yeah, he'd be perfect there.
I think he's better than Freedom and Williams. Is he not?
Yeah, no, he is. Yes,
that's what I mean, though. So instead of just being buried on the Sixers bench,
I know,
get him some run.
But who would you trade if you're the Celtics, right? I know it's like
Williams.
They wouldn't do that.
Freedom.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
The Celtics want to keep those two. I feel like.
Yeah. I definitely
because they could be good backups.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah, that's true.
And if one's injured, the other one's there.
Yeah.
For backup purposes, and then the backup obviously is a backup.
So be interesting to see if they make any moves. The other game from last night, and I knew that this total was way too high. Me and Matt were talking about it yesterday. 237. It only goes to 214. The Jazz, Tony's favorite team, doesn't cover again. I think the spread was 12.5. They win by 10. And you look at this, your guy. What was his new nickname? Gobert. 23 and 21. I mean, that's
solid.
As good as you're going to get from him.
Yeah, literally.
Donovan with 21, that's solid. But how about this is how you win a game? They win this game by 10, but they also attempted 28 more free throws than the Hornets. That is as big as a discrepancy as you're going to get. I can't remember the last time I saw that.
The last time I heard that was when the Spurs played. I forgot who was in the playoffs, but I think it was the Lakers. And the Lakers I forgot who it was, but someone got more foul calls than the entire team.
Oh, one player. Yeah. No, that's crazy. But I do think a product of this too is that the Jazz, while they can't shoot threes, they drive a lot, get the ball, going down low. And it's like, Bridges, of course, drives. But I feel like, they do a lot of pull-up jumpers and just not as much, like trying to get fouled. And the Hornets, they were down early big, I think 20 points in the first quarter. So they made this a game for sure. LaMelo and Bridges, continued what they were doing, both having double-doubles. Ball with 21 points, 11 assists, Bridges with 21 points, 11 rebounds. So, it's just one of those situations where for them, they got to just find a way, get in the playoffs, get a first-round series. Don't just get in the play-in game. Get some experience and just keep moving forward with this team because I think, LaMelo Ball is most likely a future MVP of this league because we just keep forgetting. I mean, at this point, what is he, 19 years old?
Maybe 20.
20 at the oldest. So just the things that he's doing night in and night out. I mean, that's the type of a player you want to build around. And the fact that they have Bridges as well, I just think that bodes well for them in the future. So definitely, exciting times for them after really struggling for so long to build a consistent winner. I do feel like they are finally on the right track. And like we were saying yesterday, just need to add, a big time low post presence. So we'll see if they're able to do that. But moving on here, we got a couple games we're going to take a look at tonight. The first one, the 5-24 Detroit Pistons at the 13-17 New York Knicks, who come in here 9.5-point favorites. The total set at 207. This one's set to tip off 7:30, of course, on MSG. And do we have any updates on the guys on health and safety? Is anybody back, or RJ's still out? Knox is still out. Grimes is still out?
I'm not sure. Because
I think, either way, just because of literally, just how poor the Pistons have performed this year.
Yeah, it's over. They're not going to win.
You wouldn't think that would matter. I'm going to just take I just want to see this here. I'm going to take a look on my fantasy basketball app. But I have a feeling that they might still not be back. Let me just see. Barrett, no update. And let's see. Knox, no update. So I guess as of now, they haven't cleared the protocol. So my question to you, Michael, is what do you expect to see tonight? And also, we talked about it before. Do you think Kemba plays a big role in this game after having a nice game last time against the Celtics?
Yeah, I could see that, especially if they talked, like you said today.
Right.
So he'll play. The Knicks are going to win I can see Cade Cunningham having a good game.
What about Grant or trade rumors getting in his head or off game?
Nah.
Nick stifling him on defense.
Yeah, they'll probably target him, but so Cade will have a better game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, in the Garden too.
Yeah, first time.
I
think so.
I do think so, actually. Yeah. So do you think it's a blowout here?
Yeah, like 15 points,
15.
105-90.
105-90. Okay, so the under and the Knicks. And I have to say, I agree. I just think this Pistons team, just is not very good, despite having Cade, despite having Grant. And the Knicks, while I think they're going to score a decent amount, they're also not going to torch them for 130. So I'm going to say Knicks 110, Pistons 90. And we get the Knicks covering, obviously, and going under here, under that 207. The second game here, we have the 24-5 Phoenix Suns coming in 7-point road favorites at the 16-15 Los Angeles Lakers. Total set at 219.5. And this is going to be a 10 o'clock tip on TNT. So, you look at this, just given the way that the teams have played this year, just like they just played the Bulls and surprisingly hung in there. You look at this one, and despite, the Suns, I believe Booker is questionable for this one, but even if he doesn't go, I do think, the decisive advantage here does belong with the Suns. So it's just like the Lakers have to play a perfect game here to win this one. And I do think with Ayton being on the Suns, usually the Lakers don't like to play their big men for a lot of minutes. I think you have to play either Howard or Jordan big minutes to have a chance here, because otherwise Ayton's just going to have whatever he wants all day. I think what you're going to get out of LeBron, but you need another big performance from like Isaiah. If he could have another big game, of course, that would be huge. But it definitely is going to be an uphill battle for sure. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think the Suns take this one. Game winner, Chris Paul, 120, 118.
120, 118. So I am going to go. Oh, man, it's tough, but you know what? I think, after that performance against Chicago last game, it elevates them even more. And I think, you have those haters out there like Tony, that motivate LeBron. So I think, maybe 45-point triple-double for him. Let's give Isaiah Thomas 28 points, Melo with 20. Give me the Lakers 115, Suns 113. So close game, squeaking it out, total going over, and the Lakers covering that +7, of course. That one, 10 o'clock on TNT. So, hopefully, between both of these games, we at least get one entertaining game. And I think, like we both agree here, the second game being the Suns and the Lakers should be the more compelling matchup. But for now, let's switch to the world of the National Hockey League.
In they come, Hedman, what a save by Vasilevsky! Are you kidding me?
McAvoy, Frederick, did you get the license plate number on that truck? McDavid, beautiful move.
You just knew that Connor McDavid was going to make a statement. What a goal.
All right. So we definitely have, a pretty reduced slate. You look at the schedule last night, all these postponements. We were supposed to have 5 games. We only had 1, all the Canadian teams canceling games. And then some of the American teams, have some health and safety issues as well. So the only game that we did get was between the Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild. And looking at this game, I definitely was surprised just because, of course, you look at home records for both of these teams. They play very well at home, of course. Dallas, though, overall only 3 games over 500, so they have struggled on the road, but obviously this one at home. But I just thought Minnesota, would be in a different class. Cam Talbot, Never in a million years did I think that he was going to let up 6 goals. The other one coming on an empty net, but to have a 786 save percentage, I mean, obviously that's a complete embarrassment. And you look at the goals, where they came from Dallas. They had 7 different players score. So that's a team effort. But I just think, though, that for them to really be in contention, and while I said this is an impressive win, over a Minnesota team, 19-9-2 on the season. So obviously they've won a lot more than they've lost. They're going to have to start taking care of business on the road, or otherwise, they could find themselves, on the outside looking in. And I do just think there is a lot of talent on this Minnesota team. So I think just was an off night, because they scored 4 goals. So you just think about if they had a decent performance out of Talbot. I mean, 3 goals. I mean, you win the game 4-3. So I do think, they'll end up bouncing back from this one. And both teams will have an extended break here. With the Christmas break coming up and the extra days off that they have because of these postponements. And I think they'll just be just fine. I think the bigger question is going to see if Dallas, can go on some type of run. And then you look at tonight, once again, postponements up and down the list. Originally we were supposed to have 9 games. We only have 2, unfortunately. And I believe this will wrap it up. So I just want to double check here, but I believe this is going to wrap it up till after Christmas tonight. So, playing a lot less games than they originally had anticipated. But let's just take a look in terms of the matchups. We do have the Washington Capitals in action here, coming off, a disappointing loss. They are facing the Philadelphia Flyers, who, were on this huge losing streak, but have really turned it around to even up their record at 12-12. And being at home here, of course, helps them out. But they're setting this line at Washington -140. So pretty good number just when you think about how much, higher regard, you hold the Capitals than the Flyers. But like I said, Flyers have been hot, winning 4 out of 5. You look at the Capitals; they've lost 3 out of 5. And the reason, really, for that, in the games that they've lost, has been a combination of lack of offense and then giving up untimely goals. But you look at the last 2 games that they've lost. The LA Kings 3-2 the other night. They just should be on a whole nother level than LA, and especially at home, that's a bad loss. And then losing at the Blackhawks on the 15th, 5-4. That's a game that you should win. But of course, they do have injuries with Oshie, with Wilson, with Backstrom out. But just the fact of having Alexander Ovechkin, that should be enough to keep you in any game. So I look at this one and I think, coming off that loss, to the Kings, I think they're going to be motivated here. So I like them to win tonight. Philadelphia, like I said, they've been hot, but I think almost a law of averages thing where, they're bound to lose another one here. So give me the Capitals 4-2, 2 goals for Ovechkin. And that would be a push on the over-under, which is set at 6. And this one gets underway 7:00 on ESPN Plus. So that'll be our first matchup of the night, and the other game, on the docket. If my page loads here, good timing, of course. Just when I'm getting to the second game, Michael. I mean, what are the chances of that?
I mean, the Wi-Fi is unstable.
But we have it. Okay. So 10:00, and this is going to be a really good one. I might have to give Tony my ESPN Plus password because I think he'll want to watch this one if he wants to stay up. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning at the Golden Knights, and Vegas actually comes in one of the hottest teams in the league, actually. And despite how well Tampa Bay has played this season, Vegas is actually -130 on the money line here. And you just look at, the last 5 games, they've won all of them. Lightning have won 4 out of 5 with that odd 4-0 loss to Ottawa. And, they definitely haven't released, starting goalies for tonight, but being, that you're going to anticipate that they're going to go with Vasilevsky here over Brian Elliott, who Elliott is 3-2 on the year, but .903 save percentage. I mean, just in a completely different class, behind net. So I think, despite, Vegas being hot scoring wise and getting a decent performance out of Lerner in goal, I just think still Tampa Bay is a better team here. And maybe when Vegas gets Jack Eichel, that might take them to the next level. But for now, they're going to be without him. And I just think, the better team wins here, despite being on the road. And, Vegas has turned into a tougher place to play, being that they've only got underway a couple years ago. But give me the Lightning 4-1. Like I said, I just think Vegas is due to cool down. And I think Stamkos, give him 2 goals tonight. Why not? And the Lightning get a nice victory here. The last game before this extended winter break. And I just hope once we resume here that we don't have to have any more postponements. And I think there's going to be a good window to make up these games because there's a lot of talk that they're not going to send the NHL players to the Olympics just because of the sturdy protocols that they have there. I think they have to either 2 or 3 weeks. If they get a positive test, they would be stuck over there missing games for their teams. And it's just like at this point in the season, you can't have that risk. So I'm kind of anticipating that they're going to send the AHL players. Obviously we'll see what happens, of course, but Michael, would it just not happen that I'm really into loving watching the games that we have this extended break? As soon as I'm right up to speed, pumped about the Rangers, wanted to see them play the Canadiens before the break, and we get a cancellation.
You know what Matt would say?
What?
Jinx.
Oh my God.
No, I just think, after it'll all settle down after the holidays.
Yeah. So hopefully Gary Bettman can kind of, I guess, just get a deal together, with the Canadian and the American teams. But as of now, I believe the first day we're supposed to get back here is going to be oh, no, that's actually not
26th.
Is it okay. I think it is Sunday, the 26th. Is that what we're doing here? Or we're going 27th? Talk about an extended break. I mean, that's almost a full week here. So, hey, but it's good time. Teams have injuries, rest up, of course. And hopefully we have no issues moving forward. Other than that, though, Michael, any more boxing, MMA, Fury, Paul?
Nope, not right now.
I don't even know why this was out here, but I swear I heard something that it doesn't make any sense, but somehow they were talking about Tiger getting in the ring against Paul. But there's no way, obviously.
Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
And that'll do it for us,
no, but
folks.
I swear I didn't just make that up. It was actually somebody. I don't know why somebody would say that.
They're stupid. They just want clickbait.
But kind of following up what you said, did you see they removed Woodley's boxing license, due to injury, safety or whatever? But I mean, do you think that kind of is saying without saying it that he let that happen and that's why they did that?
Yeah, definitely.
So crazy. I just hope we don't have any more rigged bouts. Tiger would break his back, LOL. Did you see, though, second place finish with Charlie, though?
Yeah.
In the father-son tournament?
I know.
Dude, I've been ahead of this all along. He's going to win another major.
Yeah.
Really, he said that thing about not competing and all this just to temper expectations. He's Tiger. He's going to be back. So I'm pumped for that, honestly.
Yeah. Golf and baseball for Brian. Coming soon.
Baseball, is it coming soon? I mean, it's just this lockout is killing me. I know you hear it all the time on ESPN radio. Aren't you so bucked out? It's insane, dude. It's on and on and on. Okay, I like the move, but it's can we get actually some, talk about players and something else other than he's a great manager. He's a great manager, over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
I feel you're the type of person that doesn't care that much about coaching. You're just about the players. Have you ever been that riled for a coach?
No.
Exactly. But I know basketball is a little different than.
Yeah. You still need a good coach. But yeah, I've never been
Yeah. Oh, we're locked to win it all now that we have this coach. I mean, it's crazy.
Never pans out.
But that being said, I mean, another great day. We move a day closer to Christmas, but of course, we appreciate all the fans out there keeping commenting, subscribing, getting their merch at downtimetv.com. Obviously, check up on our updated episodes of Dream is Free, the one-on-one basketball, how to make a gingerbread house, not to mention many other videos on our YouTube page. So definitely subscribe and take a look at those. But everyone enjoy their day, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline.